you bunch of reprobates. How are you? Welcome to this fifth in the series of reviews from the Conservatory of Doom. I bring you Claire's Strawberry, Red Grape and Kiwi Cider, bottled March 2015. This has got the WLP 775 yeast in it, folks, so I'm hoping for good things from this. Nice little bit of fizz on there, Claire. Let's pour it out into this glass here. Obviously, in this instance, I'm not using a Spiegelau glass because it's cider, and we want to use a proper cider glass, don't we, boys and girls? There we go. I'm not going to put it all the way up to the top. Now, I know what's gone into this. It's the Asda strawberry, kiwi and grape juice. It's going to be cloudy. I did one of these myself around about, oh God, 2 years ago, maybe even longer than that, maybe 2.5 years ago, when I first started brewing, folks. Of course, those that know me will know by watching the videos and having followed me for so long that I started out doing turbo ciders, and for whatever reason I got this moniker as being Roy Turbo Cider, Lakey Bloke Lake kind of thing, and I suppose that's fair enough because that's all I used to do. I don't really do an awful lot of ciders anymore though, because I've got to the point now with the WLP 775 yeast where I know I can't beat that. It takes a lot of beating to do a normal plain cider with that particular yeast. However, I did, as I was trying to say, I did do this myself, the same juice, folks, all that long ago, but I didn't use a WLP 775 yeast because I didn't know anything about it then. At that time I was still fresh and new to brewing, so I thought, well, you know, as you do when you start out, cider, I need a cider yeast. I'll get a dry cider yeast that only costs £1.14 or something like that. One of those Young's dry cider yeasts that are just crap, basically. And then I wondered why I was getting this sharpness in the cheeks there. You know, the turbo cider twang. You get that when you use an inferior yeast, folks, and there's no getting around that. The only way to get around it is to use a premium yeast like the WLP 775. In this instance, Claire has used that yeast. I've known Claire for quite a long time now. She's always in my broadcast. She's always given me support. So thank you, Claire, sending me beers and things and giving me the support today that you have. I really do appreciate it. So I'm going to give you a cheers and a little bit of a smell, folks, because that's what we do, isn't it? We give it a little bit of a smell before we sip it. Now, of course, we're going to be getting a little bit of strawberryness out of there. Now, I've spoken to Claire online before I did this review today, folks, and she said to me that in her opinion the strawberry flavour was a little bit strong for her personally, and you know, she felt that it didn't work quite well. But I'm going into it neutral. I have no real idea as to how this is going to turn out. Obviously, at the back of my head I remember how mine turned out 2.5 years ago, however long I did it last. And I'm going to subconsciously probably compare it to that one, but I'll try and treat it on its own merit, okay? So cheers, folks. Strawberry smell immediately off of the top of the glass, which is quite sweet, not particularly unpleasant, but not very much else going on there. But let's give it a little bit of a sip. Very well carbonated, very sweet. The strawberry flavours is there, but I tell you what I can taste, and I'll be brutally honest now, because I've had so many ciders made using the WLP 775, I can actually pick out the WLP 775 yeast flavour in this beer, and that's no bad thing. And I'll tell you why, because there's no sharpness, and there's none of that turbo cider twang that you get in your cheeks right at the back of your face there, yeah? And you guys that have done turbo ciders yourselves will know exactly what I'm talking about. You get that twang, you know, in the back of your cheeks, and it's hot. I was going to say it's horrible, but it's not particularly pleasant, and it kind of puts you off drinking it. But with the 775, using that as your base yeast, it takes away all of that turbo cider twang. You don't get that twang. Instead, you get the smoothness in there, and with that itself comes a little bit of its own unique apple profile too, which I can also pick out in this cider, again because I've been drinking WLP 775 for quite a long time. Okay, but having said that, Claire, honestly, this is all right, lovey. There's nothing wrong with this. Honestly, Claire, you know I'd be honest with you, don't you? That's a pretty good drink. All I will say, technically, it's not a cider. Okay, immediately I'm going to say that because there's no distinct apple in there. As far as I remember, it's red grape, kiwi and strawberry, so there's no apples in there. So technically, if I'm going to be a bit of an arsehole about it, it's not a cider. It's an alcoholic strawberry, red grape and kiwi drink. However, it does have the 775 in there, and as I said earlier, it imparts an apple profile into the drink, smooths out those sharp edges when you have a cider. That sharpness you get in the back of your cheeks can sometimes ruin a drink for you. You can spend an awful lot of time in making ciders, and if you're going to use these dry ciders, cider yeasts like Young's or any other variety of dry cider yeast, Saf cider, although that's quite difficult to get hold of. I think Harry Brew's got some on his website. Some of the other cider yeasts, the dry cider yeast, you will, I promise you, get that sharpness in there, and it takes quite a bit of fiddling around with the cider to get rid of that sharpness. If you use the liquid yeast, folks, you don't have to do anything. That sharpness goes. It's not even there. It's not prevalent. There's no hint of it at all. It's just poof, away in a puff of smoke. This to me is a very, very nice, refreshing summer drink. It's got strawberry in there. I don't think the strawberry is too overpowering, Claire. I think the strawberry is just right. And if I wanted a strawberry cider, I would have chucked in some Ribena with some apple juice and put the 775 in and done that. Okay, but this has got obviously the kiwi in there as well, and the red grape, and you can taste there's a hint of red grape in there. I love red grapes. I don't know about you folks. I really do love the dark grapes, not necessarily the green grapes, you know, the lighter grapes. I love the red grapes. I love the dark, you know, the black grapes too. Really nice. And I can taste strawberry and red grape in this. I'm not so sure about the kiwi. If I'm brutally honest, can't really taste too much kiwi in there. There is a sweetness at the back end, which may be from the kiwi, I don't know. But it's not prevalent, you know, it doesn't stand out. I'm getting the strawberryness and I'm getting the red grape. And also, of course, Claire, as you'll know yourself, if you buy that fruit juice from Asda's, or Tasda's, as they say up north, you will get some sediment in there. There is some sediment in there. This will never be crystal clear. It's a very, very cloudy juice, and it's very pleasant. It's very nice on its own, and you've done a fair job with this, Claire. So, you know, fair play to you. There's nothing wrong with it though, love. I know you said that you thought the strawberries were a little bit too overpowering, but for me, this is absolutely fine. So I'm going to mark it as if I would anything else, you know, on its own individual merit. I'm not going to listen to what you've said to me, okay? I'm going to, you know, give you my honest opinion. And out of 10, I'm going to give that a 7. A 7 out of 10, which I think is fair enough, isn't it? It's absolutely fine, nothing wrong with it at all, Claire. I'm going to be drinking it, I'm going to finish that off, and it's absolutely lovely. Nothing wrong with it at all. And I thank you very much for sending it to me. So, thank you boys and girls for watching me ramble on again for another homebrew review. I hope to see you on the next one. I've got absolutely no idea what's coming up next. I'll have a delve around in the shed of doom, and if I can find another beer I've got lying around that I forgot I had, you know, there may be 1 or 2 in there that I didn't even realise behind all the stacks of other beers that I had. So stay tuned, keep your eyes out. And if I don't see you on the next video, I'll see you on the one after that. Cheers.